Hi everyone, thanks for watching. Today we're going to look at the Kensington Orbit Fusion wireless trackball. On my website trackballmouse.org, I focus only on trackballs. I did a review of this brand new trackball that was released this week by Kensington. Kensington sent me the Orbit Fusion already a few weeks ago so I can try it out. So more information on the website, link down below. But today I also wanted to show you in a video more how it feels, how it clicks, what it's looked like compared to some other ones that are either competitors or other Kensington trackballs. So for a lot of details, go to the website or check out this video. This is the box, beautiful box. As I mentioned on the website, it's hard to close again, but it looks nice when you open it. Kensington Orbit Fusion wireless trackball. Of course, it works out of the box on Mac or PC, and it's a different style trackball than you're used to from Kensington, because Kensington used to make right-handed trackballs and ambidextrous trackballs, but the past 20 years they basically only made ambidextrous trackballs, meaning you can use it with your left hand or your right hand, like the Expert or the Simple Orbit. But this year they have released two new trackballs, and they're both right-handed trackballs. First, the ProFit Ergo vertical trackball that I'll show you later as well a little bit, and now this Fusion Orbit. It's a direct, I think, competitor for the really popular Elecom Japanese trackballs that have been coming out in the past few years, especially the DEFT PRO. This is the same size, same style. We'll look into that later as well. But as I said, a departure from Kensington from their normal ambidextrous collection. So let's take a closer look at this. I'll show you here, of course, the device itself. It's not as big as the Expert or the Slim Blade or the large Kensington popular models. It's really the size of a large regular mouse, and very much similar, like I said, to the Elecom DEFT PRO. As you can see, it's pretty ergonomic design, fits in the palm of the hand. I have quite large hands, so for me, I would say it might be slightly too small, but I'll show you I can still work with it quite well. It has, of course, a red ball, as you can see here, which is kind of the new norm, I guess. The wireless Expert has it. Elecom trackballs have it now as well, and it looks pretty good. It has a metallic ball, and of course the main feature of this trackball would be the scroll ring around the ball. Very easily accessible, it stands out, very clear. Kensington, of course, is famous for this. They had it on their Expert balls for years, the Orbit with scroll ring, and I'm a really big fan of it because it's, in my opinion, much better than a scroll wheel that you use with your thumb or even with this finger. This one is so easy to access, so I think that's a winning feature of this trackball. Beautiful design. So this has 5 buttons. There's one here, as you can see, the right click. Yep. And there's right click, and it has 5 buttons here on the side, which I can show. The large left click at the bottom, a sort of function button here, forward, backward, and a DPI button. The DPI button can give you options of 3 different DPIs, and a little light will light up. Second setting, third setting, first setting. I set it on the first setting, but of course you can always set the scroll speed also in the Kensington Works software. At the bottom of the device we have one more button, the on and off button, of course. You can see here also a battery compartment, a place to pop out the ball, and a place to store the wireless dongle, because this is a wireless trackball, as you probably already saw, and it connects via the 2.4 GHz USB dongle. Kensington actually offers USB-A to USB-C adapter with this one, which is great. So you can use it on your MacBook Pro, or as I do in my iMac, in one of the USB-C ports that I actually wasn't using anyway. So that's nice. So the main feature, as I said, I think is the scroll ring. It's very smooth, not too noisy. I can maybe, you hear it, but it's not too bad. It's not as smooth as my CST scroll wheel, which I mentioned, of course, on my website. But it works great. It's very nice to touch it like this, and it's easier, I think, even than the old Orbit with scroll ring, which has like a sort of protective round around it, which therefore is slightly more difficult to touch. But I mean, this is still a great option, and it's still a great trackball. But I really like the way they put it on the new Orbit Fusion. So the only small thing I have with this left click button is it has like a little, sometimes it feels like it's doing a double click. You hear that? It's like almost 2 clicks, but it's actually, I'm doing 1 click, but there's 2 receptors here that go off. I'm not sure if this is just my trackball, but I hope they fix that, or you don't have it. If you click lower, it's fine, but if you click in the middle, you get that double click. It actually doesn't double click though on the computer, so it doesn't really do anything wrong, but it just sounds a bit off. So as I said, the main competitor of this trackball, I think, is this one. Elecom DEFT PRO, as you can see, a very similar design. The ball of the DEFT PRO is slightly larger. It's 44 millimeters versus the 40 millimeters of this one. It's not a big difference. I mean, I like the big ball. I think this one could have been 44 as well. Would have been, I mean, it's not a big deal. This one, of course, has more buttons. It has a scroll wheel here, which does click as well. And you can actually connect it here via this USB with a cable, which is great. Or Bluetooth, or the USB dongle. So it has a lot of options. But as I said, it doesn't have this winning scroll wheel around the ball, which I think sets it apart. For the rest, they're very similar. They're priced very similar as well. This one is priced officially $79.99, but you can buy it on Amazon for about $69.99 right now. There's a link below. And this one I think currently is $64. I think they just lowered the price, maybe just to have an answer to the Kensington Orbit Fusion. This one you can pick up for $64 or also $69. It's a very similar price, very strong competitor. And then you can also compare, of course, the size a little bit with the ProFit Ergo vertical trackball, which is a different thing, but also released by Kensington this year. This is a thumb operated trackball, as you can see. Not my preference. A lot of people use it. I mean, it's very comfortable for the hand to keep your hand a little bit more angled, but I'm not really a fan. I've just been using finger operated trackballs like this with my fingers here and not with the thumb. This one also has like a normal scroll wheel, more like a normal mouse. This is maybe more for people that want to have like a smooth transition from a mouse to a trackball. Although I would still recommend a finger operated trackball like this. The last one I'm going to compare here is the Kensington Expert Wireless, a much bigger device, much bigger than this Orbit Fusion, but it has also the ring, pretty noisy ring, but it works great. And of course 4 buttons, and this one is also wireless, actually Bluetooth or USB, and this one is only the USB dongle wireless. An amazing trackball, of course, the Expert. I would definitely recommend for professionals. It's been used in studios everywhere. It's a great trackball, but much bigger than, and more expensive as well, of course, than this new Orbit Fusion. So the Orbit Fusion, I can definitely recommend it if you want to start out with a trackball, or if you are tired of the Elecom trackball and you don't like the software on that one, because of course this one comes with Kensington Works, which has just been updated also to allow this trackball to be found. I can show you quickly how that one works. Kensington Works is a software that allows you to set the buttons here, for example, you can do the right click, or you can set these buttons here, left click, back. They call this one the spotlight button, this gray button here. I've set it to do spotlight. Oh, I call it spotlight because I put it on spotlight for my Mac basically, but you can do anything you want with it. Pointer speed and scrolling settings, all very handy. And you can even do that per application. So if you say like, oh, in Photoshop I want this to do something different, you add the application and change the settings. So that's a great software. And of course you can have multiple devices. You can have different settings for each of your devices. So that's a great software, and I think a great plus for this Kensington trackball as well. So it comes also with a hard case, or it doesn't come with it, but you can get a hard case for it, which is kind of cool, which stores the little USB-C adapter, for example. And this one, if you're traveling a lot, I think it's a great one for traveling because it's not too big, much easier, of course, than the Trackball Expert. So I would say, what are the downsides? Well, it's a wireless trackball, and if you don't really, mind, a wired trackball is of course slightly more reliable. There's never any outings. This one could be, glitchy at some point, although I haven't experienced it, but it could. I did notice that if you put the USB receiver in a USB sort of external hub, it doesn't work as well as if you put it. You have to kind of put it straight into the computer or your laptop. Another downside is, I guess, the left click that I mentioned. But for the rest, I mean, there's not many downsides. I think, if you have really large hands, I would go for a bigger one. But for the rest, it's good. If the price is not super cheap, like $79.99 on Kensington or $69.99 on Amazon. So if you don't want to spend that much money, then I would recommend starting with the Kensington Orbit with scroll ring, the basic one, now available in these different colors, like this this white, or there's also a gray one which I have here. This one I think is like $39.99. I think that's one of the best starting and best value trackballs. It's mentioned as the best value trackball on trackballmouse.org. If you even want to spend less, then you can get this Kensington Orbit. But that's really basic. This would almost be more like an extra device if you want to use it for your left hand or something. But I mean, it doesn't have any scrolling feature, so I wouldn't really recommend it. But it's still a cool looking device actually, and very cheap. So this could be your first trackball. But for more advanced users, I think this one is great. 5 buttons in total, which I think for me is definitely enough. So if you want more buttons, then you might have to look at the Elecom DEFT PRO, which is another great trackball, of course. Very similar, but some people have reported issues with software and the support. So this is maybe a slightly more easy option, maybe easier to get. This one is available now in the US in mid-September, and end of September this is going to be available in Europe. So you might have to wait a little bit longer, but might be worth the wait. I think it's a great trackball. For more details, check out my website, and I hope to see you soon for the next review of one of the other trackballs. I might do some live events too, if you guys are interested. I can maybe do a live Q&A because I have all these trackballs here. So if you have a question about a specific trackball, I can just get it out, answer your questions for any brand, mostly of course Kensington and Elecom right now, the most popular ones, but Logitech has a great one as well. So I'll set it up soon. If you feel like you want to do that, send me a message on the website or leave a comment below. Definitely don't forget to like this video, subscribe for more upcoming reviews, maybe more comparison reviews, hopefully, because I think that's what people really want. So I will get back on more Kensington versus Elecom lineups, explain the whole Elecom lineup. You can go for extensive articles on the website about that as well. But anything you want to know, just shoot me an email or follow me on Instagram. I also have an Instagram account. It's not super active, but definitely follow it to see if there's any updates and for any fun sightings of trackballs in films and TV series. So yeah, thanks for watching and see you next time.